Hello students, welcome to today's video lesson. Today we shall be doing an excerpt titled My Childhood from Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's autobiography, Wings of Fire. Before we start with the excerpt, let us find out who APJ Kalam was. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was elected as the 11th President of India, who grew up to become a renowned scientist who worked for the Defense Research and Development Service, DRDO, and was popularly known as the Missile Man of India for his work in missile technology. Abdul Kalam dedicated his life to the people of India, extensively lecturing on creating a sustainable planet and on scientific research and education. Being a devout Muslim did not deter him from learning Sanskrit and studying the Bhagavad Gita, as he was a great advocate for spiritual learning and religious dialogue and tolerance. In this autobiographical excerpt, Kalam talks about his humble upbringing, his liberal parents, his siblings, and his closest friends. He fondly recalls his secure childhood with his 3 brothers and a sister. He was born in the island town of Rameswaram, Tamil Nadu, to Jainal Abdin and Ashiamma. His father, Jainal Abdin, was not very educated formally, but he was a wise and generous man. His mother, Ashiamma, was a great support to the family and his father. Kalam recalls how he was a short boy without good looks, born to tall, good-looking parents. At the time of the Second World War in 1939, he was 8 years old. Keeping up with the market demands, he used to collect tamarind seeds and sell them to the provision shop on Mosque Street, earning 1 anna after the whole day's collection. His only 2 sources of war-related information were his brother-in-law, Jalaluddin, and his attempts to follow the headlines in the Tamil daily newspaper Dinamani. When India was forced to join the Allied forces, a state of emergency was declared in the country. Rameswaram faced its first crisis. The train halt at Rameswaram station was suspended. This gave Kalam an opportunity to earn his first wages. Along with his cousin Samsuddin, who was a newspaper distributor, he caught the newspaper bundles thrown out of the train compartments on the Rameswaram road as the train stoppage was cancelled. He proudly recalls the qualities he inherited from his parents. He mentions inheriting the virtues of honesty and self-discipline from his father and his faith in deep kindness and goodness from his mother. Kalam fondly remembers his 3 best friends from childhood, Ramanatha Sastri, Aravindan, and Siva Prakasan. They were all from devout Brahmin families. Their religious differences did not come in the way of their upbringing or their friendship. Later, Ramanatha took over the priesthood of the Rameswaram temple from his father. Aravindan went into the business of arranging transport for visiting pilgrims, and Siva Prakasan became a catering contractor for the Southern Railways. Kalam grew up in a very secular surrounding, where he was told stories from the Ramayana and the life of the Prophet as bedtime stories. His family participated in the annual Sri Sitarama Kalyanam ceremony. They used to arrange boats with special platforms for carrying idols from the temple to the pond called Ramatirtha. The Rama Kalyanam ceremony is known as Kalyanotsava. It means a marriage festival. So, the annually celebrated occasion of the marriage of the deities Lord Ram and Sita is called the Sita Rama Kalyanam ceremony. Kalam recalls an incident from his elementary school, where his new teacher discriminated between him and his Brahmin friends. The teacher was shocked to see a Brahmin boy wearing his sacred thread sit next to a Muslim boy with his holy cap. More than the trauma of this incident, little Kalam was severely affected by a weeping Ramanatha, and he remembered this for times to come. Friendship was, indeed, above all differences of caste and creed. Following the incident, Lakshmana Shastri, the high priest of Rameswaram temple, called for the teacher and asked him not to spread communal intolerance and social inequality amongst school children. Shastri's strong conviction helped reform the teacher. This memory teaches us how religious and spiritual leaders can play a significant role in maintaining social and spiritual harmony and fostering respect and tolerance amongst different communities. The Indian society is strictly divided into 4 castes: Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and the Shudras. Kalam mentions his rebellious science teacher, Siva Subramania Iyer, who, despite being an orthodox Brahmin with a conservative wife, did his best to break social barriers. His orthodox Brahmin wife, with her conservative ways, refused to serve Kalam in her kitchen as he was a Muslim. She followed the traditional ways, where she maintained the purity of her kitchen by not allowing someone from a so-called inferior religion to enter. Siva Subramania Iyer, his progressive humanist teacher, served Kalam himself and had his meal with him, while his wife closely observed Kalam finish his meal from behind the kitchen door. The next time Kalam went over for dinner, she served him without any hesitation or discrimination. Iyer inspired him to change the system with patience and not let others' intolerance come in the way. The Second World War was over in the year 1945 and India was about to be freed in 1947. The entire country was filled with unparalleled hopes and happiness. Abdul Kalam asked his father to allow him to go to Ramanathapuram for higher studies. His father understood his desire and stated the example of the seagull which flies away alone and without any permanent home. Fondly quoting Khalil Gibran to Abdul's reluctant mother, he made her understand the children have only come to earth through her and not from her. They belong to life's longings and parents can only give them love and not their thoughts. So that's all, children. What did you learn from the humble origins of our former president? His childhood experiences taught him a lot and gave him principles he followed his entire life. We hope you respect him more and emulate him as an ideal citizen and national leader. See you soon in the recap video.